a little bit of news that I wanted to talk about with respect to local, also on the topic of kind of heartwarming. Some people might not find it that interesting, but anybody that's ever drank or been hungover or had some form of addiction, this story's for you. So out of Buffalo, New York, in the Buffalo News recently, I drove by, I saw this story recently. I also just happened to drive by it because it's right in my neighborhood. I live sort of in the Elmwood Village, and I used to get my hair cut. I haven't gotten a haircut in a long time, since the Roni. But I used to get it cut over on Elmwood at Rust Belt, which actually birthed a lot of other barbershops around Buffalo, Dark Horse, District. Several barbers started at this place, right on, like, I think it's Bryant and Elmwood, somewhere right over around Bryant and Elmwood. But Perks Coffee used to be on the corner here at this place, and that closed, and this place opened called Bean Bastard. And I thought that was kind of funny.
Bean Bastard Coffee?
Bean Bastard Coffee. Okay. So the story comes out, and it turns out that the guy used to be a really bad alcoholic. Used to drink a liter of Everclear every day.
Damn, that's like one of the...
And he was in his 20s. He's only 35 now. And this was before he was 30.
Everclear's no joke.
Yeah, so it's just a really great story. You can find it on the Buffalo News. As long as you haven't read too many articles lately, which is weird. Paywalls are weird. Fuck paywalls. Free the news. That's why we're here. So I'll give you a little breakdown. It's at 448 Elmwood Avenue. It's going to be opening soon. The business partner is this guy, Rich Casey, who owns the barbershop next door. But the owner's name, looking now, Nick Maruso. It's just a great story of somebody's like painful journey of alcoholism, which I can relate with. It's anybody that drinks out there, you will end up relating with eventually. It's going to catch up to you. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why we do this is it's better to not drink, and it's another great example of what you can do if you give up the bottle. That being said, I recommend everybody live their life and go out and experience life to the fullest and be safe. But if you read this story, you might think twice about what you can do versus what you can't do and what's actually successful. And I'm not saying that getting into the Buffalo News is a definition of success, but you can just read through the quotes, that his life is a lot better today. And I hope someday maybe we can meet him and maybe we can have him on the podcast and hear about more, just more about his journey and where he stands, and that would be really cool. So we kind of ended last episode with that. Some other news. I know everybody out there has probably seen some of the footage of the assholes on Hurdle and also at Empty Pockets on Hurdle, where some older white guys were getting real racist. There was a couple of those guys in that group that I saw this one photo shoot, which is another sort of inspiration, where I saw these photographs from a Facebook that someone had taken, which I find to be almost more valuable sometimes than when you read something and there's like one photo in the paper, or you see some like news cuts that are politically correct. But there was some really classic like black and white shots, and some of the characters, look at these two guys. They look like straight out of a movie, like gangsters.
Some biker gang or some shit.
Yeah, they were like biker gang looking. They look like they're out of like Sons of Anarchy, but they were shut down. They were basically ridden through the ringer. I also read a story on investigativepost.org, which is probably the best news source there is around for actual like objective journalism. that a lot of the people inside were Democrat, ironically, which you don't think are like anti-Black Lives Matter, but it turns out there are a lot of Democrats there. They have a lot of Democratic things there. So that's just kind of ironic. Edward Snowden, the famous treasonous kind of, I don't know, he's like a movie character that just ran away and he still hasn't been caught, extradited, whatever you want to call it. It's now being ruled like years after that he technically probably should be innocent, might get pardoned because the NSA things that were done to invade on people's privacy were actually ruled as unlawful or unjust. So we'll have to stay tuned on that. That's really interesting. Did you see the guy that beat up R. Kelly?
I did not see the guy. I'm gonna Google him.
You have to look up the guy who beat up R. Kelly in prison. Apparently, R. Kelly got a little dose of his karma. He's a real piece of shit, I think. Makes great music. I'm not gonna lie. I listen to Ignition. I'll listen to Trapped in the Closet for the first 2 parts at least. He was one of the early sort of I don't want to say victim, but he was one of the first opponents of the Me Too movement, where he was accused and is in jail for sexual reasons with younger females, which is always an uncomfortable topic, but he got it in prison, and this dude has some of the scariest face tats that you'll ever see, and some of them say "fuck the feds" on there.
Jesus, he's got a big 5 on his cheek too.
Yeah, so he got a little dose of karma. He's trying to have his lawyers get him get him out, which is so pathetic. But I'll turn it over to you for some screen news, because that's pretty much all I had as far as some of the justice and local news.
Yeah, dude. So there's actually a lot going on. A lot of like DC shit going on right now too. Were you planning on seeing the movie Tenet?
Definitely want to see it. It's a strange occurrence that we can't really see it because there's no theater. I looked it up on Fandango. You can't even see it anywhere around here.
Yeah, you gotta like get it on demand. But you got.
I believe it's playing only in theaters that are open right now.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure. I think
You could probably get a pirate.
Yeah, you can definitely get a pirate. You can usually get one like a week or two after it comes out. A decent one. But Robert Pattinson tested positive for COVID.
Halting production on The Batman.
Probably just for a couple weeks. I mean, I don't think they're going to lose. I don't know why that would halt production. I mean, unless he's literally going to be
because he
every
can't be there. And if
Well,
he gives it
unless
to
he's-
everybody will get it.
But that's the thing, though. Like, if he's not there, I mean, he's the only one that's tested positive so far. So, unless he's in every single scene, they can still shoot other people's scenes just so it doesn't, But maybe the way they had
Maybe they want to make sure he doesn't die.
Well, maybe they.
Ooh!
Just if he's not there, like
Sputum!
they can shoot Colin Farrell's scenes or something.
Daniel! I was listening to some of our old podcasts, cracking up. I screamed Staniel in one of them. I got the hiccups now.
Yeah, who were we talking about when that came up?
Oh, Mike. We were talking about the Danza Slap edit.
We got to come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to the actual...
We'll save that for a nice little...
For all of our fans out there, we got an update on the Danza Slap. So we'll come back to that later. I'll write that down.
Fans.
So, Pattinson positive for
Positive,
the Rona.
so, I mean,
Hopefully he
that's
lives.
gonna-
They'll probably someday make a movie about him making the movie Batman, the Batman, and they'll call it like Pat Positive, Patman Positive, and it'll be all about how production never finished because he got sick and died.
Pattinson positive.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's totally like became such a good actor ever since those Twilight movies.
I think he's great. Rattle off a couple of his movies.
A couple of his movies, The Lighthouse.
Isn't he in a movie with Mandy Moore? A Walk to Remember.
No, that's Shane West.
Shane West.
He played Tom Sawyer in League of
Today's Tom
Extraordinary
Sawyer. I on you.
Today is Tom Sawyer.
What the hell is the
I
one
own
movie
you.
he plays? Oh, Pattinson plays in a movie where he's like in a circus or something, and it's a really chicky movie. I've never watched the whole thing, but he got a lot
There we
of.
go. Water for Elephants.
Yeah.
I
He got
typed
he
in-
got an award for that, I
Yeah.
think.
I typed in Robert Pattinson circus movie.
Yeah, he got an award for that.